guys? We're back here working on the transfer case. Last time we got about, I don't know, half of it done. Close to it anyway. All the lights just went out. Wonder if our power went out. Let's go investigate. Very interesting. Typical occurrence here in Southern Indiana, of course. Torino's been great. We made a movie with it recently. Pretty cool. Still like transmission fluid though. I'm guessing out of the front main seal. Leaks out of the inspection cover, and it's not torque converter drain bolt. Front main seal is new for the transmission, so either the input shaft has a groove worn in it and the fluid's bypassing it, or the input shaft is bent and it's wobbling around like this. Either case is optional. Now, did the power go out? Let's find out. Did the power go out?
Power went out. Good old point.
Yep. I was just making a YouTube video and power went out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was just sitting down to pay a bill and
Just finished packing some bearings into here. Little needle guys in there. Looking pretty good. It is mildly concerning. I need to check, but there's like 6 in there still, little guys. I can't imagine that there's another place in here where we need them with only 6. So, and I can't pack any more in here. There's one other place that we use the little needle bearings. Into this shaft. I might check real quick to make sure I can't put any more in there. But I can't put any more in here without them bunching up. But it feels real good in here. Nothing's sticking out or nothing major. But I can't put any more, obviously. So anyway, I had to make a little roll pin guy for right there. I used one of the old bearings and cut it off, and it seems to work just fine. Just supposed to keep this guy from rocking around too much, I guess. This guy goes on next. Snap ring, I believe. Pin. Snap ring. Pin. And then one of those washers. So anyway, we're making progress. Big thanks to these guys who made this video about doing this. American Garage TV. Huge help as far as putting this thing together. One thing they did not mention is to make sure you put your magnet back in the case before you start any of this, which they did not mention that. So now I have to go back and try and figure out how to get the magnet back in there. But anyway, just make sure you put your magnet back in the case because there's one in each section. So anyway, I'm gonna get back at it, guys. Wish me luck. Well, guys, power came back on, so we got back to work. Just got the chain case bolted back on here. Well, 4 or 5 of the bolts in. I gotta go to Bible study now, but it's looking pretty good. Got the shifter fork hook thing in there. The engager thing for 4-wheel drive in there also. So it's going good. It's going good. Yep. Got the magnets in both cases. We decided to paint it this shade of orange, which was supposed to be a lot flatter than it is, but it's gloss apparently. Currently it's in, thinking it's low. Anyway, neutral, because it doesn't turn the output shaft here. You know. High, yep, that's high for sure. So that's that. Got oil in it too, which I don't think it's got everywhere it needs to go, but there is oil in it, and I used assembly stuff when I put it together. And then there's a new ball and spring for the 4-wheel drive, so it takes a little bit of oomph to get that guy going, but you can see we got 4-wheel drive. So if I didn't mention it in the last video, someone did put a mile marker locker in the rear diff, or the center diff, so it does function as a part-time transfer case now, which is cool. So it's chain driven part-time. We got it all rebuilt, new seals and bearings, and it functions just as it should. You can see the oil dragging on the bearings and stuff makes this one turn in the front, which is kind of funny. I'm pretty proud of it anyway, so let's move on to what else we've been working on. Finally got the parking brake cables for the rear axle here. I ended up going with a 1975 F250 parking brake cables because all the ones that I got for a 76 were all too short. So a 75 is just a little bit too long maybe, but we're going to work with it. but they do work. They do work for the application. I mean, I guess there's not that big a difference between a 75 and a 76 F250 except for the length. Got those in there. They work. Got it adjusted in. I also got the drums on and the hubs all put back together here. And the shoes are kind of adjusted. They need to be adjusted out some more because they don't drag that much. So still have to weld the new shock mount back on. I may get around to doing that this week. I don't really know. Got the carrier put back together, and I got the ring gear bolted onto it. And I got it put back in last night, and I did the paint thing on it. The depth is really good. The pinion depth, it rides right in the middle. The preload on the pinion bearing was good, but the only thing that I did not do, I did not take the bearings off of the carrier, and I did not change the shims. And the lash is just a little too much. It's like, the spec should be between like 10 and 12, and it's like 20 thou. So, I think I'm gonna have to take it back off, pop the bearings off, hopefully not destroy them, and move the shims that are over here to this side in order to get the ring gear closer to the pinion. That's my well, I think it will fix that, but it's so close to being right and it's not, but I'm gonna fix it because that's the right thing to do. So anyway, that's where I'm at there. Like I said, last night I was just tired with it and I was gonna send it, but this morning thinking about it, I should fix it. I got the long tubes kind of mocked up on here. We're gonna run them here and get some heat into them to hopefully burn off the paint, and then we're probably going to paint them either a clear or we're gonna paint them silver like the ones on my Torino. That's the plan there. I had to modify the run stand a little bit, and I still need to modify them a little more because there's still quite a decent gap, obviously. They're just mocked up on here. So, got the air cleaner lid painted, plug wires made. I really like these MSD Street Fire home make your own wires. Pretty easy to use kit, and they seem to have quality connectors, and they always have a good solid snap whenever you snap them on, and they don't seem to fall off, and they look nice. So, got those loomed up and ran. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Overall, I think we just made the engine look a whole lot better with headers and plug wires. And I also got the Pertronics put in the old point style distributor off of my Torino. So we're going to be running that. I got some lighter springs in there. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll have to mess around with the advance and total timing and all that once we get it running. But I'm hoping for like 36 all in by a pretty early RPM, but it's a 8.2 to 1 compression 390, so we're going to want a lot of initial timing but not a whole lot of total timing. 14-15 degrees initial, and I don't know, maybe not even 36 total, I don't really know, but it'll probably want it pretty quick. So that's what I've been working on, just one thing at a time. There's a bajillion things to do on a project like this, and four-wheel drives are twice the amount of driveline to work on compared to a two-wheel drive. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time on It'll Run.